When we come to the sixth nakshatra of Ardra, and if we study that in terms of instincts and totem symbols and instincts, again, we are talking about house number 1, 4, 5, 8, and 12. It is a grief transformer. It signifies the stage of a person's life when it is first born out of the mother's womb and it is crying. The first cry is Ardra Nakshatra. The first instinctual feel of what it is to leave the comfort of the mother's womb and come into the harsh physical reality. That's Ardra Nakshatra. So let's get into this and let us see what it can mean, these two symbols. The red-naped ibises and the dog. This is the symbol of animal and bird in Ardra Nakshatra. Before we get into the nakshatra, let us examine what the instinct houses mean in Vedic astrology. What could it be? It's marked over there, number 1, house number 1, house number 4, house number 5, house number 8, and house number 12 as marked there. You should check the planets or the lords of the houses and which nakshatra they reside in to get the instinctual level of things, because we are only working with instinct and totems in this series here for every nakshatra. So the first house or the ascendant represents the head, the self, one's personality, physical body, thinking process, intuition and logic, self identity and expression. The fourth house is associated with the heart center, home, family, emotional contentment, homeland, local community. It can provide information about a person's instinctual need for security, comfort, and their home surroundings and relationship to all these areas of life. That's house number 4. Look at how house number 1 and 4 become very instinctual. Okay? Maybe you never thought of that. House number 5 is associated with the navel chakra, the belly button, the creative intelligence, the self-expression as identity, your courtship behaviors in romance and such, learning and intelligence and intellectual bent of mind. Where does your mind go? That's house number 5, creative intelligence. It also means children and therefore instinctual parenting attributes. It also means past life karma. House number 8 is associated with root chakra, the sexual center. Your innate sense of security. What does it mean to be secure for you? Are you feeling secure or insecure? House number 8 will tell the story. Handling of changes of life. Everybody's life has changes as they go through it, right? How do you handle those changes is the attributes of the 8th life instinct. It also means hidden truths. It also dictates the type as well as the intensity and instincts regarding your copulatory experiences. What does it mean, copulatory experiences? How do you deal with sex? What does it mean to have sex with another person for you individually? How do you experience it? That's 8th house matter. That's also, like you very well know, it's all instinct based. So the Lord of the 8th and the 8th Lord of the 8th nakshatra, for example, if you see that, that will dictate the instinct level. House number 12 is next. House number 12 is associated with subconscious mind psychology. Your dream time, what do you dream? Your hidden desires, exploration of the psychic and the hidden realms. That's 12th house. Last one, the moon placement house. Where is the moon placed in your chart? It may be placed in any one of these houses, 1, 4, 5, 8, and 12, or it may be placed as the lord of one of these in some other houses. It doesn't matter where the moon is placed, but the moon's nakshatra is vital to consider when you talk about instinct, especially emotional instinct and reactivity of a person. Okay? Now let's get into nakshatras. The 6th nakshatra of Ardra. The symbols are the bird representation being the Indian lovebird or the red-naped ibises. And the animal representation is a dog. So let's study this instinct from the perspective of the first house, the ascendant nakshatra, the fourth house, your heart, your instincts of the emotion, the fifth house, your creativity, the eighth house, the house of change and transformation, or the 12th house, the house of letting go and absorbing the higher akashic aspects. So, Indian lovebird, the red-naped ibises. Let's see the basic instinct of these bird and this animal. So, the red-naped ibises are opportunistic feeders with a natural instinct to overcome a varied diet, including insects, small vertebrates, crustaceans, and aquatic plants. Their social behavior is small to large groups, so they have a group instinct right there. Breeding and nesting instincts, which will be applicable to your home front, by the way. They have instinctual behaviors related to breeding, including selecting the nest sites, incubating eggs, and raising the young ones in colonies. Again, a group instinct. Ardra Nakshatra will have that. Wading and foraging skills. They have an instinctual ability for wading in shallow waters using their long beaks. Right? You can see there in the picture. And they use vocalization for communication, which is common to the animal and the bird kingdom. Some birds and animals are lone packs. We shall see that later in other nakshatras. The dog. It has a pack instinct. Dogs, as you know, run in packs. Working in packs, social hierarchy and cooperative behavior is in packs for dogs. There's a dominant one in the pack, and rest of them follow. Hunting and retrieval instinct. Many dogs breeds have retained instinct for hunting and retrieval tasks. The typical one which you see, people throwing things and dogs going and fetching it. Right? Hunting and herding, retrieving objects. They have been used even in law enforcement because of this, because of their instinct. Ardra Nakshatra will have this instinct of retrieving hidden stuff. Guarding and territorial behavior. Dogs are very territorial in their nature, as we know. They will sit outside your house and they'll become the owner of that particular property, of that area. They will guard and bark and defend against all invasions of their territory. Communication through barking and body language. Again, same as the bird, they use communication skills, their barking, and their emotional display, you might say. Dogs are very emotional in nature. The owners of dogs know this. Scent and detection and tracking skills. Again, because dogs are so common as pets, we know all of these, right? Remarkable instinct for scent detection. Apparently, they have 1 million scent detection receptors in their nasal passage. As compared to humans who have only a couple of dozen, dogs have thousands of them. Now we take the consideration of the totem symbols. We saw the instinct. Now let's see the totem. When you consider the totem aspect of red-naped ibises, adaptability. So if you have red-naped ibises coming in your dreams, or if you see the pictures of them frequently, this is how you have to understand the symbols and meanings. Adaptability. It symbolizes the importance of flexibility and ability to adjust to changing circumstances. Connection to water. Red-naped ibises, because they sit in a lot of water bodies, can represent a strong connection to emotions. Again, see the life lesson there, using anger and grief to transform negativity. You see, Ardra Nakshatra represents that stage of human life where the baby's first cry is born. The first time the baby cries is Ardra Nakshatra. The grief of that, the grief of leaving the comfort of the mother's womb and coming into the harsh physical reality. That's what Ardra Nakshatra is. So strong connection to water. There is an emotional connect there. Serenity and balance. These birds are often seen as peaceful, balanced creatures. Their totem can encourage individuals to find inner peace and harmony in spite of the attitude of, not attitude, that would be a wrong word, in spite of the nature of physical reality itself being harsh, and Ardra Nakshatra strongly rejecting that by the way of anger and grief, right? It needs to find the serenity and balance, reflection and self-examination. Red-naped ibises are often found near reflective bodies of water. Their totem may symbolize the importance of self-reflection and introspection. Ardra is a Rahu-ruled nakshatra, therefore it is very powerful in its analysis of self-examination. It's a powerful nakshatra. All Rahu-ruled nakshatras are. We shall see this much later on. There's Rahu-ruled nakshatra first starting with this one, Ardra. The next one being Swati, the last one being Shatabesha. So these nakshatras have got a deep involvement with the examination of the mind. Okay? The dogs now, the totem of the dog. What does it mean if you have dogs in your dreams? Loyalty and companionship. Their totem emphasizes the importance of building strong, loyal relationships. We know this because we stay with dogs. Protection and guardianship. If you're watching these symbols in your dreams, it can symbolify you need to have protection for yourself. You need to be watchful, especially when it comes to family and loved ones. Watching over your loved ones. Dogs have very strong protective instincts, as we know. Trust and intuition. Dogs have a sense of intuition, and their totem encourages individuals to trust their instincts and be more aware of their surroundings. Sorry, the second coffee hasn't kicked in. Playfulness and joy. Dogs are very joyful creatures. They will jump at the first chance they can get for playing with their owners, right? All dog lovers know this. Owners know this. Healing and service. Dogs have this energy of unconditional service, right? Once again, all the people who are dog owners know this so well. They want to be of service, unconditional love and unconditional service to their masters. A dog looks for always finding the master so that they can serve. So Ardra Nakshatra, if you have a dominant one, just to wrap this up with the life lesson, if you want to transform your anger and grief, and once again, if you're talking of instinct, it's house number 1, 4, 5, 8, and 12. Even if the lords are not in those houses, if the lords of those houses are in this nakshatra, it signifies that. You have certain anger, you have certain grief, and which both of these would lead to some kind of a frustration. The reason I'm saying some kind, because it can vary a lot depending upon which houses and right? Which house they are sitting in, the lords of the houses. Essentially, you have to transform that anger and grief into some kind of service. Ardra Nakshatra people will be drawn towards bringing the light of transformation to the world. Like a dog serving its master, you're looking for that peace which you want to serve others. With your own mind, you will crunch it in your own mind. However, the instinct will draw you towards bringing it to others. From yourself, transforming within yourself and bringing it to others. Ardra Nakshatra people, you can comment here if you like, if this is being applicable some way in your life. If Ardra Nakshatra, on the other hand, sits there, does nothing about it, you have all this anger, you have all this grief combined, which translates to frustration of an nth degree. We all have frustrations, but Ardra Nakshatra has it to a very transformative degree. That's the positive point. That frustration, you need to transform it as service to others. Okay? Next, we shall take the 7th of Punarvasu. Meanwhile, happy Diwali, take care, be safe, celebrate.